First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Tuning in. We are live streaming here every weekday. Not that one. Right here from the Fox 12 Oregon studio, and we appreciate you joining us here. Well, here's the thing. There may not be a lower third, but I think you know what day it is because it is Thursday. That means we are joined by the one and only Eric Goranson from around the Northwest, around the house Northwest. I don't know what's happening with my machine, but you know what? There you are.
We'll do it
That's all that
live.
matters.
We're
doing it live. We're doing it live. All right. You know, when you make some changes, it's that's always what happens, and that's what I was doing.
It's always the update, right? It's just the update. You blame the update.
That's it. Well, regardless, we are here, and what we're going to be talking about is some spring lawn care tips and tricks. Something I think everybody, especially with this weekend coming up, some potentially nice weather. It's time to start thinking about that.
Absolutely, man. This is always fun coming on here chatting with you. And yeah, we're springtime. It's like the snow's behind us. We got some sunny days ahead. Now's the time to be really on top of the yard. And there's so many things you can do to your yard now to get it healthier so it's greener. And that'll actually help you maintain your home if you've got that green lawn. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But one of the first things I like to do is not over fertilize, because so many times, what do? And I've been guilty of this myself. I go down to the big box store, I grab the bag, I throw it on the lawn, I throw everything at it, and whether it needs it or not. And there's a lot better ways and kind of greener ways to do it that will save you money in the long run. Because I don't know about you, but that fertilizer is getting expensive on that aisle.
Yes, definitely expensive. And I have been guilty of probably doing that before too, of overdoing it.
Yeah, so my secret is, and this is a service that I pay for, I love it, and it's a company called Lawn Bright. What you do is you sign up for it online, and it's a mail order company. They send you a box to staple your grass. You can go in the front, side, back, whatever. You send it in, and then they do the lab test for you. Now, you can always go to an extension agent or something like that, take your dirt down there and have them do the test. But this way you know what you need to add and maybe what you have too much of. So you're not throwing money away and putting all that fertilizer into the streams and rivers and that kind of stuff that's not needed because it's just running right off the top.
Love it. Yeah. So they actually tell you exactly what it is that you've got going on.
Yeah. And so with Lawn Bright, then what they do is they make it easy. You don't have some big fertilizer spreader. They send you, and this is what I'm putting on my yard this weekend. They send me these hose end kits. I go out there and spray it on the lawn, and you have the greenest yard all year round. And it's so easy, and it's green. You can put your pets on it, so you don't have to worry about all those crazy, nasty chemicals. And so it's a really green alternative that you're paying a lot more if you've got the lawn care company coming by spraying all their chemicals on it.
Yeah, nice. So it's signing up for that, getting exactly what you need, and doing it that way. I love it.
That's a good way to do it. Now, here's one thing in the Pacific Northwest. We have those houses, and a lot of people in the neighborhoods during the summertime, they just stop watering. They let the grass go white. But here's the problem we have. We have a lot of clay soil here in our area. And so what happens is that clay soil ends up being like a sponge. So it dries up and shrinks. That's why you see those cracks, right? In the dirt. What that's doing, though, is your house is sitting on that same clay soil. So now that house will move down and settle a little bit, which can create cracks. And then when fall, winter comes around and we get the rain, it expands back up like the sponge again. And that can create foundation cracks, especially on an older house that doesn't have the best concrete or rebar or stuff in the foundation. So by not watering your lawn, you could actually cause cracks around the foundation, because if you keep that soil at a similar, moisture content, it's not going to move. So it's something to consider. You could actually, by not watering that lawn, be creating foundation damage to your house, and that can get expensive to fix for itself.
Yeah. Okay. That's very good to know and be aware of, the fact that, it actually could pay off in the long run in that aspect. To make sure
I've literally had structural engineers say, hey, make sure and water the flower beds at least around the base of the foundation to keep those going all year round. So at least that soil's not moving around, because that's what's lifting and moving the house around. So that's an important. So the other one is this time of year is many of us, we walk out into the grass and there's all that moss.
Yes.
And so that's an easy one. You can put, many of the iron-based lawn fertilizers on there. But one of the things that I like to do too is I actually put lime down, and you can get the pelletized lime in the big bags at your home improvement store or your garden store, and put that down a few times a year. It takes a while to break down, but that will change the pH of the soil. So actually it'll accept all the nutrients that come in. And by changing that pH, it takes that acid kind of that comes out of the pine trees and the fir trees that we have. And so it balances that soil out. So when you fertilize, it'll actually get into the grass itself. So it makes for a thicker, more luscious lawn as far as that dark green color that you're looking for. And so it takes less fertilizer if you can balance that out. So that's really where that test will help you out. And I'm with my lawn, because I've got all these big trees, I go through and hit that about 4 or 5 times a year so it can break down. It takes a while to break down because it's got those pellets have to break down and then, eventually change that pH of the soil. So it's not an instant, like you hit green fertilizer and in a week, it's looking a lot better. So if you do that, and keep on that, and then keep that moss under control, you'll just have a healthier lawn.
Nice. So it's again thinking ahead to save yourself kind of that hassle down the road of dealing with that stuff.
Yeah, and if you want the best lawn in the spring, by hitting it with the fertilizer in the fall, that'll really make sure that you got the proper root growth and that you're going through and keeping that soil at its best health. Then when springtime comes around, it has usually less frost damage if we had a rough winter, and then it's going to start out a thicker, greener lawn as well.
Nice. All right. So some really good ideas there of again, thinking ahead and watching out for that stuff and making sure that you're ready to go.
Yeah, 2 other tips that aren't like putting, fertilizers and chemicals on down there is, one, to make sure that you keep that thatch, the dead grass in there, keeping that out of the soil as well, because you'll get that carpet that's kind of down there of the dead stuff. If you can go through, either rake it or thatch it and overseed it, that'll really get a thicker lawn as well. And then just make sure that your lawnmower, if you're doing your own lawn care on there, if you've got a good lawnmower, make sure your blade is super sharp. That will really give a clean cut on it, and it's not going to just kind of like hitting it with dull scissors and it tears the end up and is ripping the lawn. You'll have a better looking lawn with a good blade. And so you can either go out and buy a new blade and rotate that through. You can take it down to your local farm store or whatever, have them sharpen it. You can sharpen it yourself or take it into a tool place that does that. And by doing that, it's just going to be really clean and it's going to use less water. You'll have just a greener lawn that way.
Nice. So making sure that your tools are up to snuff and
A
sharpened
little
up.
care goes a long ways.
Yeah. Right on. Anything else that people should know?
Yeah, just watch. A lot of people overwater their lawns as well, so just make sure that you're watching that. With today's lawn controllers out there for your in-ground sprinkler systems, if you're going that route, there's new ones out there that will. I've got 2 of them here at the house that I was using. They actually watch the weather, so it will go, hey, it's raining today, I'm not going to turn the sprinklers on. And by using one of these smart controllers you can add to your existing system, you can cut your water percentage. I did at my house. When I changed over to that smart controller, it cut my water by 25%, which for our water rates, that adds up.
Oh yeah, that adds up. Yeah, a lot. Just by the fact that you can control it with that and have that working for you. So saving money in the long run also.
Yeah, so you're saving money and you got a healthier, greener lawn, and it's more consistent. And, it knows when it's 100 degrees, it knows when it's 60. So it knows to put the right amount of water down to make sure that that's, dialed in perfectly.
I love having some good technology to help out with things like that. So some great tips and tricks right there for everybody. And feel free to share this segment and let other people know about it. But we also need to talk about what's coming up on Around the House Northwest.
Oh, yeah. We have got a house that we start out with. That 80s kind of postmodern, you got the glass block, the round.
Yes.
This is a house that has been in just about every major magazine since the 80s. So we're talking, this was originally designed by TVA Architects founder Robert Thompson. This is a magazine level house, and it is gorgeous. It has been kind of reimagined. So when you look at it, you go, oh, it's 80s. And then you go, oh, they added all the modern conveniences and still honor the architecture. So it's one of those houses that you look online and go, oh, that's cool. Then you go there and you go, oh, I could fall in love with this. So really cool house that we dive into, something we haven't actually shown on the show before of that era. So it's really one of those that's notable, and it's fun to appreciate that kind of thing when it's been just beautifully restored and reimagined.
Nice, and that's it. Everybody will get to see that, and that's one of the cool things about the show too, is getting to see these different places and houses and kinds of things that you get to showcase to people, because we don't always get to see those otherwise. What else is on this week's?
Oh, we have a lot of fun. So we go over to our friends at Wilco, talk to my buddy Craig, who's their horticulturist. So we're talking about spring planting, as well as how to take care of those roses this time of year. So we've got those dialed in. And whether you're planting new ones or caring for them, how to take care of those, from planting vegetables to just getting those flowers in and, getting that yard spruced up for springtime.
Yep, I need all the advice I can get, so I will definitely be checking that out. And for everybody out there, how, where, when can they watch?
Oh, yeah. One more thing. We got
one more thing.
One more thing. I'll tease you with this. A brand new generator that can run your entire house, but it's got a new safety feature, which is a CO monitoring system. So if it gets into a place where it notices in the air around it that the carbon monoxide is too high, it shuts down so you can put it in a safer location. So if you accidentally put it under a carport or by an open garage door, if it notices too much around it, it's got a safety feature to keep you safe, which is a great feature for new generators.
Oh, a huge feature. Yeah, especially with power outages that can happen either in the summer or winter. So awesome. Again, using technology.
Exactly. So if you missed last week's episode, which is just a banger, it was awesome. That was a fun one. Check that out tomorrow morning. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus. And of course, the brand new one episode, which is coming out Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus. And of course, the rerun at 6 p.m. on Sunday. So if you're out doing something, enjoying the sunshine or even some clouds, at least the warm weather, you can always catch it on Sunday.
There we go. Plenty of different options there to see it. And Eric, always good to have you on here. And for everybody joining in, this is Fox 12 now. We are live streaming here as evidence at the very beginning of this show. So this is a live show, and we appreciate you joining us. So feel free to check out all the episodes on the Fox 12 Oregon app, or KPTV.com, or the Fox 12 Now tab, or all those Around the House clips on YouTube and other places that we've got those out there as well. So thanks for joining us, Eric. Always good to see you, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Let's see what happens here. Oh.